Well, Merry Christmas and getting ready for a Happy New Year. I want to welcome you to another episode and the last live episode of Light Vision Art Q&A. So I already see I got two of my comrades in the queue. My longtime co-producer, who's back, has been off for a while. She's been busy. Claudia, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Um,
Christmas, Al.
yeah, one of our new people in the queue, Rory. I see that he's got on his Christmas attire. Welcome to the show, Rory. And of course, we invite you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Rory. We'll mute you if we have to. Of course, this is Light Vision Art Q&A. We would like for you to be a part of our show. And if you're going to be a viewer, you can call in 615-547-3355 or email me. Oh, Claudia's got her tree. I see she's passing her Christmas tree. Got any mistletoe in there, Claudia? Got any? Okay. She got it.
It's hanging over the door.
Hanging over the door. Of course, you can contact us, Light Vision Art at gmail.com as well. And if you're on our live view, you can text me and I'll get you on or say something on the screen, or we'll get some viewers on and maybe some of our other helpers. Christopher has been a very busy man. And I've got a Christmas present one of my former students brought me. I'm going to open it on the show in just a little bit. And I want to announce that I've got a new book out. You need to go check it out. It's a great gift for the holidays. It's called Lost Memories. You can get it in Amazon, Kindle, Kobo, or get it from me. Get it from my online store at alfonsoashworth.com. And as I said earlier, we are Light Vision Art Q&A. We come on Saturday mornings live from my studios in Lebanon, Tennessee. You can come in here and check us out, find out what we're talking about on the show. We also do Darkroom in Use. That's part of our series. Claudia can't wait to use that mistletoe. Ain't that right, Claudia? If my cough bothers you, I'll try to chime it off where I can. Of course, Light Vision Art, the Darkroom in Use. You can also find me during the weekdays at Line Chasers with Lonnie Poindexter on radio. I see Jeff Coleman has just come in and joined us. We're going to add Jeff to the broadcast. Welcome to the show, Jeff. Jeff's got on his Christmas hat. But anyway, we are, of course, also do classes, Light Vision Art, the Educated Eye. You can come in and we will get you in a 16-week course, or we'll get you in classes one way or the other. We do private classes as well. And also, don't forget that you can get your lenses. If you need to rent high quality Canon lenses, go to weeblenses.com. Check out weeblenses.com and get your gear at an affordable rate and at a reasonable price. This is what we're talking about today. We're getting in our Christmas spirit. My ho 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 man on here. We're saying ho ho ho. Claudia, you got something you want to say? Chime in.
Morning. Looking forward to the show today. Glad to be on because, Christmas, it's going to be dark early and my favorite time to take pictures.
Yeah, it is. Claudia's one of her favorite times to get out, take pictures. What you been doing? I hadn't had you on the show in a while.
I've been running, Saturdays 10 to 11 is prime time to be already out and about and do things. And, I do a lot of dog photography for the rescue. And, day starts early. So I'm sorry, I've been out of pocket a little bit.
Well,
but trying to get them adopted, for Christmas.
Yeah, we've been talking about you, so we hadn't forgot about you.
Good, thank you.
Hey, Jeff.
Good
Jeff's
morning.
got a Christmas cap. All go for Christmas. Merry Christmas, my friend, to the Coleman family.
Morning.
And, you and yours.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Well, thank you,
Everybody
sir.
out there.
Yeah. And of course, Rory's got his Christmas cap on. Hey, Rory. How's it
Good
going?
morning, sir. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. We got a lot. We're going to talk about Christmas today and talk about, what it means. And, Claudia thinks that my present that I've got right here could be a lens. We're going to open it and see in just a minute, Claudia. You never know. One of my former students brought this to me. I've got a treat for you guys this morning. A very good musician friend of mine that I lost a few years ago. Very talented guy. I'm going to play a Christmas tune that he sang called There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays. His name is Sam Corley III. He's one of the best musicians that I ever played with, and you'll see why when you hear him. But of course, we're going to talk about that. And if I get brave enough, I may read towards the night before Christmas, Claudia. I may attempt to do that. We'll see. It's been a great year. Been a lot happening. We got a lot to be thankful for. Besides getting the presents for Christmas, I always tell people, don't expect it to be a gift to the world. So I'm chomping at the bit. I'm going to open this to see what one of my former students brought me this morning. I'm not one of these people that are very delicate with paper. I normally just tear. I don't try to save the paper. Do you, Claudia? You try to save the paper?
Of course.
Of course you do.
Paper bags, wrapping, ribbons.
Oh, this is just what I needed to get back on my bad habit of drinking coffee.
Oh, wow. It is a lens.
It's a lens. It's a 24. You should have got me a fixed version. But I tell you what, let me get this open without causing too much commotion. And get it out of this plastic. This stuff is like steel. I'm gonna have to get my knife out. Yeah. I don't know if I'm that weak this morning or just.
You still hacking? What's going on?
I'm trying, man. I'm digging this thing out of here. Here we go.
Ooh.
Ain't that nice?
That is nice.
Just perfect. It works perfect. Now I have two of those. Somebody gave me this one a few years ago. I forgot who it was, but I got one here. It's good to have friends at Christmas. It is. It's good. That's what really Christmas is all about is family and friends and, getting with people you love to be around. We just had a great meeting at our guild. And of course, if you'd like to be part of the Wilson County Guild, we have a great group of individuals. Go to wcpgonline.org. Check us out. Find out what we're doing over there. We have a great team of photographers helping people who love to help. That's I love that when people want to help others. And we got a great group over there that loves to help people get in photography, or we help raise money for different groups. I enjoy that. But you can go to wcpgonline.org. Check us out over there. You can also find me at my online store. Go to customcolorphoto.lifepix.com. Find me on my website called Live Vision Art, The Educated Eye. That website address, lightvisionart.simdiff, SIMDIF.com. Check me out there. If you want to find one of my novels that I've written, my latest one is called Lost Memories. It's a great holiday story, a great story for the holidays. You can also find my other books, The Machine. I've got 2 out called Spin Cycle, Broken Cycle. If you want to get into a conspiracy, you want to get into a deep conspiracy, get my trilogy called The True Manchurian. You can buy the set, or you can buy the books online or on my store. Christopher E. Hamrick, who's not in the queue yet this morning, but Christopher, go check out Christopher's website. If you want to see some interesting images, and Christopher is very knowledgeable. I can't give him enough kudos. He's a very smart photographer, very smart guy. And of course, we're excited about the show today. We want you guys to chime in whenever you want to about Christmas. Claudia, what does Christmas mean to you?
I'm on. Christmas to me is time with family, take a little time off of the busy life, and really be with friends.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the gifts for me. It's really, friends and telling them, hey, Merry Christmas. Good time with you all year long.
That's right.
Gift is nice.
What about you, Jeff?
Hey, friends, family. And I remember that's really what this day is for. It was the birth of Jesus. So
the birth of Jesus. Mary, that's right. Matter of fact, the word Christmas is in Latin as Christmas, which means to fellowship with other Christians. Mass, which means to fellowship or church or come together, of course, in the celebration of Christ. It's amazing when people say Merry Christmas. A lot of times they will say Merry Christmas and they don't really know what they're saying. They'll just say, be in the Christmas spirit or have a good holiday spirit, or, they really don't know what they're saying when they say it. Then they'll tell you not to say Merry Christmas. I don't want to get all political here, but Merry Christmas means something. And not just getting a toy or getting a new shiny, object. It's about what you have in your heart for your fellow mankind every day, 365 days, even on a leap year, Claudia, which is what we're in this year. We're in a leap year. So we need to remember that we should have that Christmas attitude every day, just like you do, Claudia, when you go out and find a home for these pets. That's a Christmas attitude. What about you, Rory?
Christmas is a very special time of the year. And I'm proud to say that we can actually say Merry Christmas for the next 4 years.
Yeah, at least for the next 4 years.
And, it's disappointing the way we have turned our society, but it always means something to have Christmas and enjoy it with family and friends. Right.
Well, I'm going to let you guys hear what my friend Sam Corley says about being home for the holidays.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, 'cause no matter how far away you roam. When you find for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, oh, the holidays, you can't be home, sweet home. Why, I met a man who lives in Tennessee, and he was heading for Pennsylvania and some homemade pumpkin pie. From Pennsylvania, folks are traveling down to Dixie's sunny shore. From Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is terrific, 'cause there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, when you find for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays, you can't beat home, sweet home.
Sam Corley, folks. Very talented individual.
Well, there's no place like home for the holiday, because no matter how far away you roam, when you find for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays, you can't be home. For the holidays, you can't beat home, sweet home. No, you can't beat home, sweet home.
Well, there you have it. The man, most talented player I ever played with, slamming Sam Corley. Of course, he's gone. Lost him at the tender age of 46, Claudia. And he was one of the best musicians. All the keys and organs and all the horns were played by Sam Corley. The drums, percussions by his brother Trey. And the bass player was not me. I'm a pretty good bass player, but that one was not me. But I have played for Sam many, many times. And we miss, that's the kind of thing we miss at the holidays, is the people we, are no longer with us. Just think about that. Just think in your mind of all the people that are no longer with you during the holidays. And it's a sobering thought that, maybe this time next year, those same people that you see walking about, talking and, doing the things that we do may no longer be here with you. So take every moment, take every opportunity to show your appreciation in some way to someone that you care about and that has brought some joy to your life. And as photographers, we get the opportunity to do that in images. Think about your images that you share. They're going to last for many, many years. They'll be passed around. They'll be put in somebody's album. Somebody will bring up an old image that you did 20 years ago, and it'll bring back a laugh or a smile, or it may remind them of how much they've changed over the years. And they may tell a great story about you and about your work as a photographer. So keep that in mind when you're out there taking photographs, especially if you're doing it for other people, that it means more to them than just selling them a product. It has more meaning than that. And I do a lot of work for people. And one of the things that I was glad to do this year, this mother decided to have all of her albums scanned from 33 years back.
Whoa.
Have them put on digital files for her 3 children. Just think about that. That's going to be their Christmas gift, one of their gifts. And I mean, how children change and going through all the emotions of adolescence and your first date and the first time you got to drive the car, and all those things are just going to come back in a wave of emotions and all these images. And there's nothing you can compare it to. I don't care. You can buy a big screen TV, or Claudia, you can get that great lens that you've been wanting, but there's nothing like looking back on your memories. It's just nothing like it. You guys jump in. Tell a story if you would like to. What's a great Christmas story for you, Claudia?
Just wanted to add, even if not every picture you take is a glamour shot or perfectly lit or super great in focus, it's still a memory for who's in the picture or for you taking it. So it doesn't have to be like the perfect picture all the time.
Right.
It's still a memory one day for somebody.
For somebody. And it may be their only memory. It may be one in a lifetime shot. Some people like me, I don't like my picture taken. So every now and then I'll get one from somebody, and it means a lot. It really does. What about you, Jeff? Any memories of Christmas, Christmas past, or things that you sort of think about and reflect on?
Oh yeah, all time. We, back on family, parents. Both my parents now have passed, and you think back that especially when it comes to eating, boy, mother and daddy get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start cooking, and that was their big Christmas for the family. They enjoyed doing it, and done it every year. But you talk about Christmas albums, and me and Joni has been going to Gatlinburg for several years and with a group, and every year I take quite a few pictures, and we put together an album, and them albums have grown to the point where it's hard to carry them, and
That's
it's
true.
got so big, but man, the people love them. They spend more time just looking back over what's happened in the past and how much the kids have grown and stuff, so it's enjoyable.
And you don't need electricity.
No.
You need a little comfortable place to sit, maybe on the floor, and get up in a blanket, in a recliner, and just start looking through those old albums.
I told her this year, I said, you're going to have to cut back. We can't keep carrying all this stuff. And I heard that the whole time I was up there. Why didn't y'all bring
Where's the photo albums?
But I really, this week, though, after this fire, it touched me, because one of the places we stayed last year, it was just awesome view. It's incredible view. In the morning, I would get up and go out on the patio before sunrise and shoot the sunrise, and it burned to the ground. So it really hit me.
Yeah. The last memories are probably going to be the ones that maybe you wish you didn't throw them all away. Kept a few of them, but that's right. The memories that you took then are going to be different. If they build back again, it won't be the same place. But remember all of those. I got a great story. Hey, Rory, what about you? Got any good Christmas stories or memories?
Well, a little on the sadder side. This will be the first year that we won't be able to spend Christmas with our children. Unfortunately, my wife and I can't leave because of her job, and they can't afford to come down and see us. They're in Nebraska. But
Right.
we did plan on 2 weeks from now to fly up there and be with them for a little bit. But so it'll be a little sobering. It'll be a little hard, but we'll get through it. We've invited a friend up, so we'll have a little bit of enjoyment for the.
I tell you what, our wishes and warm wishes are with you and your family.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead, Carl.
Rory, since you're so good on camera now, hook them up with the camera and do a little online.
There you
go.
Bring everybody to the camera.
Yeah.
We tried that with Jeff when he was in Gatlinburg a couple weeks ago, and nobody really wanted to jump in the picture, but you know, if you do it in privacy and not live.
Yeah.
Jeff, they can go back and look at that show. I don't know if it's all up there. I think it was one of those shows we had that didn't record everything for whatever the reason, but have them go back and maybe look at a little bit of that show.
I heard that. Can Al make me famous?
Al can make you infamous. I can make you infamous. I got a great story. It's sort of sad in a lot of ways. When I was growing up, we couldn't all afford a camera, but my aunt was the photographer in my family. She had like a Polaroid, and when those things first come out, she took pictures of everything, of our birthdays and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and Christmas and everything. She would just snap. We sort of got tired of it because she would always make all the kids and cousins and everybody get together and get their picture taken. And then we sat there and watched the Polaroid come up. It was sort of magical. And, but we never knew that she was keeping all those albums. So when I got older and I went by her home one day, she on a shelf, on a bookshelf, was just row after row of albums. And she kept them all like in order and the years, and it's like scrapbooking back then, I guess. But whenever I wanted to go see pictures, that's where I would go. I'd go over her house and sit down and look at all those albums. And of course, as I got older, and you sort of forget about those things when you get older. Like you get married, you go to college, you sort of forget about all that. And like you got new stuff, you got new toys to play with, you got new gadgets and all that sort of thing. So you don't think about all those albums. Well, I don't know. I think I was about probably about 35, and I sort of got nostalgic because I didn't have any photographs of my mother because she had passed away when she was 34, which was my senior year in high school. So I got nostalgic and I wanted to see pictures and see if I could find some pictures of her. And my aunt had passed away. Before that, she had had COPD or something in her lungs. Away, so I just assumed albums would always be there. You know, my uncle, he had the home. Her kids were still, you know, of course, familiar. So I called my cousin one day and said, hey, I'd like to go by and see those albums. He had a long pause in before he said anything. And he said, those albums are gone. I said, what? He said, yeah, his dad had a girlfriend move in. The girlfriend got jealous of his kids and the pictures and all that. So while he was gone one day, the girlfriend threw all of the pictures in the garbage. And the trash people came by and picked them all up and took them to the dump. So needless to say, me being in the photography business, how much it means when I say, make sure that you keep copies and not just rely on one way. Don't just rely on somebody else to keep your images. I have some customers that treasure their images so much that if somebody wants to make a copy of it, they have to come with them. They will come with that person to get that copy, and then they get their original back. They do not trust giving their original to somebody else. And that may sound corny. It may sound like, oh, you know, they're just being overly protective. Yeah, but lose all of your family pictures at one time in a fire or a flood, or some idiotic person get jealous and get mad and throw all your pictures away, you'll feel quite differently about it. Matter of fact, it'd probably be something you'll never get over. So remember that too, your photography business, as you share with other people. And of course, it may not mean anything to you now, but as you get older, and those people are no longer, as Jeff just said, your mother, your father, your grandparents. Rory just said, you know, missing his kids, not going to be able to be with them person. And Claudia, you got family in Germany, right?
Yeah, I do. So
Yeah.
so we're limited to kind of phone calls, you know.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's something you appreciate, but it's not the same as being with them. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So it would be fun. You know, the fun Christmases for me, or when I was growing up, was when somebody would show up and you didn't expect them to come. You ever had Christmas like that, where you got family members that maybe you hadn't seen in a while, and then all of a sudden they show up at Christmas, a cousin or somebody or a relative, and you're like, you can't even get over how joyful that is, because you wasn't expecting it. It's like so exciting for them to show up out of nowhere. And so you never know, Claudia, somebody may show up that you hadn't seen in a while. And I know you got friends that live in your neighborhood that you help out. You do things for them. You never take credit for it. So I'm going to pat you on the back today. Claudia is always helping, people, taking care of them if they get sick or hurt, or if their pets need looking after. She does it, and you don't even hardly hear her complain about it. She just gets a joy. It takes a special person to do that. It really does, to want to take care of people and not expect nothing in return. That's a very endearing quality. And Jeff, I know you do a lot for kids in your church. You see, those things don't get by me very easy. I may not remember all the lenses you have and which camera body you got, but I remember when people tell me they do stuff for other people. That just sticks with me, because I remember growing up, we wouldn't have had Christmas if not for strangers. I was poor. I lived in a very poor community, and my mother was invalid. She was very sickly, and she had a stroke when I was about 5. And we had to go live with my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, and she could not read nor write. She couldn't read nor write. But Jeff, just like you said about your parents, every morning we got up to the smell of bacon and biscuits, and we would go off, eat a good breakfast before we went to school. Always, never went hungry. at lunch, she would always fix pinto beans and cornbread and potatoes. And then she would make dinner from that and add something else for the dinner. And then on Sundays, we would always have either fried chicken or a pot roast. That would be the meat we would have. And I remember many times her taking food off of our table and giving it to someone less fortunate than we were. I couldn't believe it was anybody out there like that, Claudia. I mean, we shared a coat in my house, and we slept on a feather bed with about 4 or 5 of us in the bed. And when it was winter time, my grandmother would heat up what they call fire bricks, and they would put them in this little thing and put it under your bed to keep your feet warm. And at that time, we didn't have running water in the house. We didn't have an indoor toilet. And we used to have to go out and get water from outside in the winter. Now I'm 55 and I can remember all this growing up. But I remember my grandmother would take food and go give it to a family that had lost a loved one, or their house maybe caught on fire, or their kids were sick or whatever. And we would always ask my grandmother, well, what are we going to have? Or what are we going to do? And she would always tell us, don't worry, God's going to provide. And I am a witness that somebody would always bring us something better than what we had. So remember, Christmas is not just about getting something. We got a viewer. Hope our viewer will chime in. Hey, viewer, if you want to say something, you want to comment, call in on the show, call in 615-547-3355, or send us a little message in the text box, and we'll get you on there. But in any case, that's my story about Christmas and giving, and not just receiving something or going out and going shopping and put it on your credit cards and then complain about it in January, February, and March. You can let a smile, a kind gesture, or just call somebody and say, look, I was just thinking about you, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And is there anything I can do for you? Do you need anything? Just that. You'd be surprised how far that goes in a person's life. But in any case, we got a few more minutes. Anybody else want to chime in, want to talk about their Christmas, Rory? Or I know you said your family, but do you have other do you have friends in the area? How long you been here?
40 years. And so my wife's family's still back in California.
Okay.
And, my family, I have a brother in California, and my dad's in Arizona. So really all we have is who we met around here, and which is limited since we don't get out a lot. But, we have a friend coming up that we met through my younger son, and her son were friends. So, and she happens to be alone on Christmas. So,
well, I tell you what, I know y'all gonna have a wonderful Christmas. Take advantage of the friendship.
Yep.
Never know where that leads you. And of course, you're in our family of the camera group, and we got many people that are going to be probably hearing about and doing things. So don't hesitate to call us if you need anything, or if it's something that any one of us can do to brighten up your Christmas. We'd be glad to help you out with that. Jeff, of course, We know that your family, are you from this area, Jeff?
Yep, born, raised, and been here all my life. So
Yeah, me too. Not been very far from here, other than a few days here and a few days there. But of course, where do you gather? Do y'all gather at one home or just kind of go out and about?
yeah, I mean, it's been different since the parents have passed. I sold the house last year, or actually this year, so we won't be gathering in it anymore. So we've been gathering at my brother's. So we'll gather somewhere. I mean, it's if we can get everybody together. Everybody's kind of scattered out now between
Right.
here, Chattanooga, and Georgia, and just scattered around.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember Bobby Todd. You remember he used to be our president of our guild. He just said, Merry Christmas, Al. Hope you are all well. And of course, us, Bobby, on the live view. And Bobby, if you want to call in on the show, 615-547-3355. Love to hear your voice, big guy. Of course, I was going to try to read towards the night before Christmas. Should I do it, Claudia?
Is this Al's version?
It's the Clement Clark Moore version. Maybe if I do something that has a little background or something to it. Let's try this. Let's see. We'll get a little background happening here, Claudia. Turn it down a little bit. All right, here we go. By Clement Clark Moore. Says, toward the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was staring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, to open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver, so silly and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his courser they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. And that was my attempt and rendition of The Night Before Christmas. And of course, I hope I didn't hurt anybody's ears while I was doing that. And I hope it brought a little smile to everybody's face this morning to remember that as a child, how they see the world, how, if you can remember, I can remember when I was about 11, maybe 12. And you get to that age where you start wondering, about Santa. But you don't want to give up the toys. You still want to hang on to that magic. And then you grow up and you get knowledge and understanding, and you get jaded in the world that that's around you. You sort of forget about what it was like to be 9, 10, 11 in that age group. And you start getting cynical about stuff. Just like I do on my show when I'm on the radio and I'm talking about politics and religion. And I recently did one that we talked about, and I called it Christmas 365. And about midway through the show, Claudia, I went on a rant. I went on this rant about, you know, people being crybabies and whine babies and, you know, get over it. You lost the election. You know, we got a new president coming. You better get used to it. That kind of stuff. And then I thought about, you know, I didn't feel bad about it. Matter of fact, I felt pretty good after I did it. Because I think people have a problem understanding the difference between positive thinking and wishful thinking. See, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I spoke like a child. I reasoned like a child. I had wishful thinking as a child, just like every child does before they have to get older and get out in the world and pay taxes and pay rent and pay a mortgage and car notes and hospital bills and all that stuff that comes along with being an adult. But when I become an adult, I have to understand that positive thinking also comes along with negative events, things that you can't predict, things that you don't know what's going to happen to you in the next few days. Have no idea. You have no idea what is in store for your life. And you may win the lottery. You may win Powerball in the next few days, and I may never see you again because you'll go buy you an island and you'll go all that stuff we just talking about today won't hardly maybe mean nothing. Or you may get sick, or you may lose a loved one. But no matter what, you have to remember that it rains on the just and the unjust. And that's God's design. He designed it that way. Of course, we want to give everybody an opportunity to expound on their thoughts further. And of course, I got my little happy Moshe Khan there that's doing his little ho, ho, ho. He's been doing that the whole show. He's seemed like a pretty jolly little fella. Of course, I've got some other thoughts and things that I like to express. And I want y'all to pray for good health for those who are sick at this time of year. There's a lot of people that are bedridden, that don't have family. They're shut away in nursing homes, hospitals. Some of them may not come out on their own will. Pray for those families. Pray for those people. Remember them. And remember too, Claudia, we remember all the animals, all the strays that people purchased as a pet and then decided they were too much to take care of. So they go put them out on the side of the road. Or worse yet, they stopped caring for them right there under their roof. Just lock them away somewhere and forget about them. So we remember all of those animals that are unwanted and don't have care from a owner. Claudia would probably take them all in if she could afford it. I could see if Claudia won the lottery, she would go build like a refuge or something and take in all these pets. And I can see her now. That's all she'd be wanting to do. Ain't that right, Claudia?
I would find a good way to get them to the right places.
Right.
They may not stay all with me, but
you still got a cat that you rescued in my
In your
gutter.
ditch out there, in the drainage ditch.
I told you you would still have that cat by Christmas. You remember I told you that?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
And you said, no, we're gonna find it. We'll
I'm
find
not a
it.
cat person. Yeah, I know what I said.
See what Bobby said here. He said he can't call in right now, but thanks for the invite. Too crazy at the house at the moment. Bobby's got two little boys, two twin boys, and I don't know. They older now. I wish I could see them at some point. All right, Jeff. Wrap it up, big guy, on what your thoughts are. Give us some wisdom. Give us some word for the holidays and Christmas.
Everybody just be safe and pray for the people in need. I know our church does a lot of help for the needy. And our church needs help, but they try their best to. They have a toy store that they served 175 kids last year.
Right.
So it's, but like you said, the elderly, the shut-ins, the people on the street,
The mentally ill.
but everybody be safe.
Yeah.
Especially tonight, we got some rough weather sound like coming in. I know we're going to be out. So.
Storms are coming.
Yep.
And tomorrow they're talking about maybe some light snow, mixed weather. So everybody be careful. People get, really crazy this time of year. I mean, I was driving just across West Main the other night, coming across Hartman Drive. You know where Walgreens, if anybody knows where that is, it's the intersection of Hartman, and you got Walgreens and one of the burger things right there. And for whatever reason, some lady in front of me decided to do a U-turn right there in the middle of Hartman Drive. Just whipped that little car around and came back toward oncoming traffic and still had to stop at a red light. And I'm thinking, you can't be in that much hurry. Life is way too short for you to be that rushed unless it's a life and death emergency. But it's just, you have to be very careful and cautious this time of year. Rory, here you are, my friend. You know what? You just come on, a few weeks ago?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you've been coming on and helping us out on the show. Really appreciate it. I saw some of your work. Your work looks good on the stuff that you did at the for the band.
Thank you.
Some of that. My suggestion is you got the noise level. You may want to address some of that. And you can address a lot of that. I'm gonna be honest with you. You can address a lot of that if you get some really good, what I call fixed focal length lenses.
I've been actually looking around for something lately, since you kind of informed me a little bit about it last time.
Yeah.
And me, I'm Mr. Used, so I keep looking all over the place.
Right.
For used Minolta lenses or A adapters type lenses.
Yeah. I don't blame you there. I'm a used lens person myself. Excuse me. I can't really remember. I'm trying to think back the last brand new lens I purchased. I don't really remember that. It's been a while. I need a flash bar. Anybody know I can give me a good flash bar? My flash bar, Claudia, is finally just about had it. I hadn't even showed it yet. I'm going to show it on a show one day. And you guys are just going to laugh. Claudia has seen it.
I've seen it in action.
It's pretty ugly. It's a pretty ugly piece of contraption there. But I'm like Linus on that show, the Charlie Brown Christmas thing. It's like a blanket. You just can't let go of some of that stuff. But of course, I really appreciate you guys this year for making an effort to be a part of the show. We switched networks not too long ago, and we've been trying to get our viewership back up to where it was. And the scheduling is tough. Me and Claudia's talked about that before, about Saturday mornings. You know, it's hard for people to get up and come on a live type show like this. And we appreciate you guys making that effort. And I want to announce again too that you can get my book. Don't forget about it. It's the newest one. It's a high impact story. It's a fictional story about a family going through a crisis. A young man coming out of prison for murder and trying to reconnect to his mother and his family. And it's a uplifting story. Very dynamic, very easy read, but you can get it's called Lost Memories. And Bobby told me the Flash stalk. That's funny. He just posted that, but check my book out there. Find us. You can also, of course, always be a part of the Q&A session. And even if you're not live, you can contact me through my website or contact me through the show. If you really want to get involved and hear me weekdays, I'll do a 2-hour radio show. It's a national radio show. It goes all across the country called Lion Chasers. And it's the host, it's Lonnie Poindexter out of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. And I've been doing this now for him for about 3 years. Jeff has got something he wants to show us. What's happening, Jeff? Is these pictures that you've taken?
Just give Roy we were just telling Roy about fixed lens.
Yeah.
I bit the dust and bought one here back a couple of months ago, and it's amazing. It is amazing what a fixed lens will do with a low aperture. So this is taken into dark. The only lighting is the lights on the table.
I mean,
What's the focal length?
90 millimeter.
That's what I was kind of thinking, somewhere around 90, 100 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Great. Yes.
Al's always keeps telling me about it, and I finally bit the dust and bought one, and it is amazing what that will do.
Yeah. Well,
Is that for your digital or your mirrorless camera or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 30 years of me doing this, I've got some knowledge on this in this area. So I tell people, you won't be disappointed if you get one. But of course, I want to thank you, wonderful folks. And as usual, we're getting ready to chime out for the year. God says the same, Claudia. We'll be back next year. Next year will be better. We pray. We hope that our country will heal and people will come back to their sanity and not be so bitter and be a good loser. You know, it takes a lot to be a good loser, to thank the people that, you know, outbested you, whether that's in photography or like in a presidential election. Whatever it is, if somebody just outbested you, look, give them their kudos and tell somebody else about that person. Don't make excuses. Don't say, well, you know, the lighting was poor or I would have done better if I had that $1,000 lens versus what I've got. No, you just got bested, and that happens in life. You can't win everything every time. And of course, the main thing is if you do get beat, there's always another day. Just get back up. You don't have to stay down. You can come back again, and it's nothing better than coming back from a defeat. That's the best feeling you can have sometime is when you got beat, you struggled, and then somehow you learn to come back. But I want to tell you guys, have a Merry Christmas. Okay? God bless you. God bless America. Peace.
Peace out.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Frohe Weihnachten.